Love that you choose beating out love that fate chooses has me in a chokehold, and I'm so here for it.
I am here to make you mine.
Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today, we'll be discussing the top-ranked Omega Doesn't Believe in Destiny by Sakae Matsubara. Before we get started, there will be spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiling this manga, go ahead and click off now. No worries, I'll catch you next time. For those of you who decide to stick around, let's go over some content warnings. There may be references to sex work, slut-shaming, power imbalance, social gap, sexism, specifically against the secondary sex, prejudice, arranged marriage, not between the main couple, fake relationships, attempted forced bonding, rape, not between the main couple, blood, self-harm, bullying, PTSD, violence, gossiping, death, police, and male pregnancy, as these things do appear in the manga. But if that's okay with you, let's go and get started. Aka is the top pick at an Omega brothel. For now. Unfortunately, a younger Omega has come in and is challenging Aka's place as the top Omega. But Aka isn't one to just let his position go without a fight, and he fully intends to draw in as many high-spending repeat clients as possible. Thankfully, he's off to a great start with Soe, a high-class alpha and heir to immense wealth. But after a particularly frustrating romp, where Aka accidentally leaned into his distaste and frustration with the Alpha Elite, he's pretty sure he's lost Soe. However, to his surprise, he actually gets an offer of a lifetime. In exchange for more money than he could ever get from his clients, all he has to do is pretend to be Soe's fiance. It's simple, right? And for someone as charismatic as Aka, this should be a cinch. But endless studying, judgmental upper-class alphas, and even obsessive clients make this new gig much harder for Aka than it should be. Nothing is more complicated, though, than Aka's fated mate suddenly making an appearance, trying to lure Aka back into his fold. Can Aka and Soe fight their respective fates together, or are they destined to align with what destiny and their families expect of them? To start with, the art in this is fun. It's your standard manga style, which isn't necessarily exciting or unique in any way, but I still find it enjoyable all the same. It's very expressive and mostly clean. It's not perfect by any means, but if you're looking for that standard manga style that's overall clean, look no further. Aka in particular is stunning. He's the most expressive of our cast, and is that loud, tenacious, and beautiful power bottom that I desperately crave more of. He's everything. Soe is sweet, but he's no Aka. But where this really sings is the premise. Omegaverse talks about fate all the time. I love a good fated mate story because there's something so beautiful and comforting when reading about a love that transcends everything and is declared fate. But you know what's better? A love that transcends even fate, which is what we have here. It's a love that is chosen despite fate being right there. Aka has already met his fated partner and has had the opportunity to be with him multiple times, but he knows that fate can get it wrong. He knows his true love, love that is for him and would support him, is not with his fated partner. If that doesn't make you swoon, I don't know what will. Love that you choose beating out love that fate chooses has me in a chokehold, and I'm so here for it. Unfortunately, as much as this premise is winning for me, there are parts of this narrative that aren't going to be a win for most people, and while these aspects don't bother me, I think it's important to share them for those who would rather avoid them. This is pretty heavy on the non-con. There are multiple scenes, some more visible than others. I've mentioned numerous times that non-con isn't a problem for me, but I want to make sure I mention it regardless. There's a scene between an existing client and Aka that is completely visible from start to finish. There is then another moment between Aka and his fated mate that we don't see, but it's pretty clear that an unwanted encounter occurred. Both are disturbing for different reasons, but either way, if you're looking to avoid non-con, avoid this title. Before we close out, I would be doing this title a disservice if I didn't mention a unique element of this title that I haven't seen in Omegaverse settings that really turns the genre on its head. Usually when there's trauma for an alpha or omega regarding secondary sexes, it's almost always omegas having issues with alphas or alphas having issues with omegas. In this, however, Soe, the alpha, is traumatized by other alphas. It comes off as an aversion to omegas to begin with, but there's an interesting turn where Soe comes in to rescue Aka from another alpha, only to be fearful of the alpha. It's a powerful moment that I don't recall seeing in any other Omegaverse, and that upped the ante for the entire narrative as it ultimately ends up being alpha versus alpha for Aka. With all that being said, overall, this was a treat. I'm a sucker for Omegaverse as it is, but add in all of the interesting and unique elements that refresh a tried and true genre, and I'm all over it. This isn't perfect by any means, and it's certainly not for everyone since it does contain non-con, but it was a treat all the same. I wouldn't call it a favorite, but it comes pretty close. If you're a fan of Omegaverse, I implore you to give this one a go. So, have you read the top-ranked Omega Doesn't Believe in Destiny? If so, what do you think? Do you agree with my assessment? Do you not? Let me know in a comment below. Otherwise, I'll catch you next time. Bye!